Gladiator Beast, they are back, and budget. Hey guys, this is Tom Box, and today we are modernizing a classic, Gladiator Beast. How good are they? Is their end board strong enough? And is it actually budget friendly? So I'll answer this honestly. How good are they? They are strong enough to win. However, they are not a one-card combo deck with one-card extenders that stem from those starters, which makes it entry-level rogue tier. As for the end board, is it truly strong enough? Absolutely. They're going for the classic 3 to 5 negation style disruption. They can card for card you if they really want to, and they have a good mix of monsters, spells, and trap negation. But they can change one of the negation for destruction instead. They can go for a Geyser summon play during your turn, or they can use Gladiator Beast charge to destroy cards on your side of the field. So they can definitely interchange it depending on the matchup as well. As for the budget, we're going between 50 to 100. If we're just talking about the deck's engine itself, it's not going to cost you more than $30. In fact, it's probably under $20. It's mainly the non-engine that really pushes it, and it really depends on when you bought it. If you bought like Rated Collection 1, then this is probably under $50. If you didn't buy Rated Collection 1, then you're definitely pushing more towards closer to 100, but it's definitely under $100, and if you're lucky, if you already bought stuff early, it's probably even under $50. This is one of those instances where I'm gonna go with combo first, then go into deck list, because the combos can explain everything in the deck list a lot more clearly within the proper context. And I want to give a huge shout outs to Treedone, Tristan. This entire deck that I'm gonna be showcasing is gonna be given to you, hand traps and all the extra deck included. So I hope you have fun with that. Now, if you guys can take a moment, if you like what you see, hit that like button. If you've been with us before, it's your first time here, give us a chance, hit that subscribe button and ding that notification bell. It's gonna be awesome. 2025, the year of wild content. And let's jump into it. So these are the combos we're going to work with. We're going to work with a Gistel with an Attorix. That's going to be new standard. If you can get this full combo off, you're pretty much off to a winning start. And then what if you brick by having one of the quests in your hand? This is typically a monster you summon out from the deck. We're going to work with that one as well. And then we're going to go with no Gistel whatsoever. And we're going to go back to classic GB combo, but this time we're going to do it with Primate Roar and a Vishuda. I love Vishuda because I had to dig back into my old videos and realize that, hey, Vishuda acts as an out and generates a body, and it kind of clears off some of the problems on the field. So Vishuda, I'm still going to continue playing you for now, but here we go. Let's start off with the Gistel and the Attorix. Go-to combo, we have Gistel and Attorix, and yes, this is a proxy. I didn't manage to get to pull one out of the early box, so we're going to proxy one just to show you the combo. There's lots to cover, especially with Supreme Darkness kind of changing up the meta, but we're going to focus on some of the rogue stuff now. Gistel is in hand, Attorix is in hand. We're going to activate Gistel, and we're going to summon both of these monsters. Now, since it was summoned by the effect of Gistel, that's a GB. So GB effects, we're going to trigger 1, trigger 2. We're no longer just relying in the battle phase anymore. We can actually build board in the main phase. And in that case, we're going to send the Augustus into the graveyard by cost. If you don't want to get hit by, say, your opponent's Bestial, since Fiendsmith are very popular right now, you can send the Water Reptile instead. The one that's level 7, Vespinatus, whatever his name is, I don't have it on hand. You can send that instead so that you're not going to be blocked by your opponent. Essentially, you just want to change this level to level 5 or higher, and then Gistel's going to add Gladiator Beast Comeback. Now you can activate the Comeback. Comeback will summon back our Augustus, and we can take these two and contact fuse them back into the deck to summon out Editor. So that was summon number 3. This is going to be summon number 4. It's going to be Editor. And summon number 5, we're going to activate Editor, and that's going to summon out Domitianus, insulating ourselves from Nibiru. So it now needs a hand trap plus something else. Now, your opponent might be greedy and wait for you to keep on pushing, and we're going to keep pushing anyway. So now we're going to take the 2 Gladiator Beast monster and use them as link material for Test Panther. Test Panther effect that's going to activate, and that's going to provide us with another monster, something to help us push through our opponent's card. So what does this card search? You can add one Gladiator Beast card from your deck to your hand. You can add the monsters if you want, if you want to go directly in that route, but we're going to go for Flavian because this also sets us a trap later on during the end phase. So we're going to go for Flavian. Flavian has the ability to summon out monsters during your opponent's turn, but right now we're using it for the search effect. We're going to activate it, we're going to discard a card, and we're going to add a Gladiator Beast monster. Everything but a quest will essentially work, or something that you can normal summon. So we're going to go with Andal, since that's going to be simple. Normal summon out the Andal now, activate Test Panther's effect, and it goes back in, and considering it's a test monster, it summons it out considered as a GB effect, and a quest will now activate, and we're going to get the comeback. Since we do not control the typing of Beast Warrior, we can activate the comeback because it's not once per turn. And remember, the monster summoned back by this cannot be destroyed by battle. A lot of people kind of forget about that, but here we go. We're summoning back our Editor. And this is the direction where we can change. If we are worried that we're gonna get hit by, say, a monster effect or multiple monster effect, then you can go activate editor, summon another Domitianus. If you're worried about Imperm Nib and they want to stop you, then maybe your best choice is to summon out Heraclinos, and you can reroute your hand like that, where you would actually have 3 spell trap negation, 1 monster, and the second monster negate will likely come out from your Claudius instead. But it is kind of layered in a weird way. But if you want to just dominate right away, let's go with Domitianus first. So you trade 1 card in your hand for a Domitianus in that sense. Okay, so we want to cycle the Equest one more time. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to take the Equest and the Test Panther, link summon them into our new Gladiator Beast link monster, Gladiator Beast Darius. Activate the effect of Darius, summon back the Equest. If your opponent controls a monster, you can summon anything from the deck, which is even more powerful. But here we go. Equest effect, because it's the GB effect. It's not negated, and we get to add the comeback back to our hand. Of course, we can't summon an editor right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to take Darius and the Tamer Editor, and we're going to summon a monster that requires 2 GB monsters. We're going to summon into Dragasis. So we're going to summon this here. Now that we don't have a Beast Warrior anymore, we can activate the Gladiator Beast comeback, summon out the Tamer Editor once more, and we're going to activate the Tamer Editor again. And this time, we are summoning out the original boss of GB, Heraclinos. So now we have 2 monster negate, 1 spell trap negate, or rather 2 spell trap negate technically, because we still have 2 cards in our hand. And maybe you don't even need the Ash anymore, but that's up to you. That's how depends on how you want to play it out. And now the last part here is that we want to load our graveyard full of GB names. With the GB names, it really helps you out, because then you can use that to make the Claudius. So we have 1, 2 names in the graveyard, 3 and 4 are the ones that we can use. We cannot use Tamer Editor, so we're going to continue to make another link summon. And we're link summoning into our second copy of Darius. There's nothing you can do here. And once you use Darius' effect, you have to use Gladiator Beast monsters for link material. Technically, you can make an SP right here if you want to, but if you want to get rid of your Tamer Editor, then you can take these 2. You link them off one more time, and then you can leave yourself with an SP. You don't really want to banish anything, but now you can put back your Darius, your Equest, your Dragasis, your Darius, and finally your Gistel. That's exactly 5. Put these back into the deck, so it kind of feels like you never really even use your extra deck. And this is going to allow you to summon out Claudius. And with Claudius, this is going to activate. Next battle phase, you get 2 battle phases. So you only really need 4,000 direct damage, and you have lethal against your opponent. And don't forget the end phase, where you get to put Gladiator Beast Charge onto the field, because cards were summoned from the deck thanks to Test Panther. So in terms of disruption, we are looking at, consider these as like spell trap. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pop just from the charge, or this could be an additional monster negate if you're going to be playing War Chariot and you want the counter trap timing. 2 monster effect negation, 2 spell trap negation, and then this can act as an additional 2 card pop, because you can summon out Gazaris onto the field, and that's going to destroy 2 more. So you have 2 pop, 2 negate for monsters, 2 negate for spells and traps, and that's pretty much enough coverage for 90% of things. Combo 2 is Equest and Gistel. Some people have been saying Equest leads to a brick because you can't do your combo anymore, you can't do the tag out, and you can't cycle properly. I'm here to show you there is a line to get your full combo anyway. Starting off with Gistel, summon out the Equest. We don't have Proving Ground, so we can't really fix our hand in this case. Chainlink 1's gonna be a quest regardless, because it's mandatory, and Gistel is gonna activate, and that's gonna give us the Gladiator Beast comeback. We're going to link summon both of these into Test Panther, and let's try not to deviate too far from what we're used to doing. So Test Panther is gonna help us get the additional monster through Flavian. We're gonna just ditch a card onto the graveyard. We don't really care what it is, these are just additional cards, and we're gonna go with the Andal. We're going to also the Andal. We're going to use Test Panther effect to put it back into the deck. And now we're going to use that to summon out Attorix. Attorix effect to summon out Augustus. And now we're going to use comeback on the Augustus. Now we have our 2 level 8s. Contact Fuse into Tamer Editor. Tamer Editor effect. We're going to get us our Domitianus. And now we can perform our next link summon into Darius. Equest is still in the graveyard, to my knowledge, so we're going to summon back the Equest. Equest effect is going to get back our comeback. But now we have to get rid of our Beast Warrior, and we have to use 2 GB names to continue link summoning. So we're going to use our 2 GB names to link summon Dragastis. And now we're going to activate the comeback once again, and we're going to summon out the Tamer Editor. Tamer Editor is going to activate its effect again. This time we get ourselves the boss, Heraclinos. That's as many times as we can activate it, because after that, we're out of gas on this one. And we're going to perform another link summon into our Darius, because we needed the extra name. So 1, 2, we can't use this one, 3, 4, and 5. There's the quest. And these 5 can all go back into their respective decks so that we can summon out Claudius, activate Claudius to get us the second battle phase on our next battle phase. Okay, and I guess during the end phase, this is going to activate, and we're going to put a charge onto the board, and this is what we're left with. So ultimately, it's not the worst end board. Yeah, we did lose like perhaps 2 bodies along the way, but it's better than nothing, and you still have 2 additional cards left in hand. So if you haven't figured it already, the first combo is of course the bread and butter. Then we start removing pieces, and now we remove both pieces. So we're going to activate the Rejection. We're going to activate Vishuda and chain the Primary Roar so we can still get our summon of both monsters. And the reason why this matters is because the timing of Rejection might not let you get your Vishuda out onto the field. So first things first, we summon out our Andal, and then on chain link 1, we summon out our Vishuda. New chain, the Rejection is going to activate because we summoned out Andal from the deck. We're going to summon out Gistel, and we're going to revive Gistel later on in the combo. But for now, we're just going to shuffle this card back, and so we're going to link away the Gistel and our Vishuda into our Test Panther. Test Panther effect to add to our hand the field spell. We can activate the field spell, or we can throw a card away for the field spell. We're going to use that to add an Attorix into our hand. Sorry, Attorix. And then we're going to use the Test Panther effect. We're going to shuffle this back, the Andal, and we're going to summon Big Augustus. Augustus effect, summon out the Attorix. Attorix effect, we're going to dump into the graveyard just one of the big names, so we're just going to dump another copy of Augustus. So now we have our 2 8s. We're going to contact Fuse by putting these 2 back into the deck. Now we have access to our editor. And we're going to use editor effect, summon out Domitianus. We're going to link the Test Panther and the editor away into Darius. Darius effect, we're going to summon back our Gistel. Gistel effect, we're going to use that to add to our hand a comeback. Link away our 2 monsters now, and we are going to make a non-Beast Warrior, going to Dragastis. Activate the comeback this time. We're going to summon back our editor. Editor effect, summon out. I don't know if you actually want Heraclinos in this point. We don't actually have a lot of cards in our hand. But if you want to maintain something for spell trap negation, you can get yourself the Heraclinos. Otherwise, another Domitianus would just work just as fine. And then we take our Dragastis and our Tamer Editor, and we go back into our Darius. Or, I think we have to go into Darius. I think we actually run out of names here. So let's count some names here. If we have enough names, we can go into SP instead. But since we can't use this, we have Dragastis, Darius, Gistel, Darius, and Augustus. We have exactly enough names, including the one in the extra monster zone. So we're going to put everything back so we can summon our Claudius. And yeah, this is actually not bad, considering that we didn't open with any actual name piece. So this is the Vishuda Primate War, essentially a vanilla GB and another monster. How far can that push? So for this one, you can just activate the Vishuda, chain the Primate Roar. Primate Roar is you're going to call for the Andal. Andal will summon itself onto the field in defense mode. You lose 2,000 life points, and you also get the special summon out your Vishuda. And from here, we just link them away. It doesn't really make a difference. You're not going to be able to use the additional disruption from Primary War anyway, because you're shuffling everything back. You're trying to end on at least a Claudius and some level of disruption. At least 3 disruption here, and we're going straight to Test Panther. Test Panther effect, that's going to grab us Field Spell. We're going to activate the field spell. We're going to dump the card into the graveyard. Okay. And then we're going to get ourselves a search. It doesn't really matter what you search for because Test Panther is just going to shuffle that away. Normal summon Test Panther, we're going to shuffle back our Quest, and that's going to summon into our Gistel because we haven't used our Gistel yet. We never had a chance to use it. Gistel effect, you can go for Comeback or Proving Ground, but we want to add additional monsters for us to play with, so we're going to go with Proving Ground instead. Activate the Proving Ground. We're going to use that to add one of our favorite monsters here that loads more names for us, the Attorix. And now we're going to perform a link summon, okay, into Darius. Darius doesn't have to summon from the graveyard. It can also summon from hand, and that's where the Attorix comes in. We're going to special summon the Attorix effect. We're going to use that to dump into the graveyard our Augustus. So once we dump Augustus into the grave, we can count the names that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means we can generate one free body with this. And the best free body to generate, of course, we could just make an SP. You can banish something if you want. And then you can take the 5 names that you have. The Attorix, the Darius, Augustus, Gistel, Gladiator Beast, Andal. And we can put all of them back. And then we can use that to summon out our Gladius. Alright, so it does cost you a few cards to kind of push in this direction, but we didn't even explore what happens if you have Gladiator's Rejection, which generates an additional monster. Here's the entire deck list. There's 3 Gistels, 3 Attorix, 2 Augustus. Although I haven't really needed Augustus to Augustus, I almost prefer the Vespinatus, just because that one's a water and I don't get Bestialed, so you can consider switching this out. 2 Andal, so that you can just tag them up with Unexpected Dies and Primate War, just for additional bodies. It's a way to extend the deck. Your main Looper, we have Quest, and you don't actually play any of the old names. You can side a Bestiary, because if you get a free special summon and then you just set the Bestiary, you can do the Contact Fuse to do a little bit of popping damage. It's especially useful when it comes to having other board breakers such as Suda. This is kind of taking back 5 years ago when the deck first got the Test Panthers. So the Suda package, and this is mainly board breaker. We're using hand traps that generate bodies such as Magnum Mud. We have Bells to deal with the Graveyard Recursion that's coming up in the format. And then we have Triple Ash. We're trying to keep everything within budget. Yes, I know that the Ash and the Druid Swarm kind of blows the budget a little bit, so you don't have to play them if you don't want to, but we're trying to keep it under 50 bucks. So these themselves are already like 50 bucks, so that kind of like but you can, if you went in during Rarity Collection 1, then yeah, it's a lot more budget. Anyways, then we have Flavian, 2 Rejections, 2 Primate Roar, and they die. These are only $1, so it's not too bad. These are a couple of cents here. Call by the Grave, triple Imperm. Yeah, these rose up in price. Again, Rarity Collection 1. Just hope that you can just dig for those. And then 1 charge. As for the extra deck, 1 Monk, just for the Vishuda. 1 SP, which is like, what, $5 or something like that? And then there's 2 Test Panthers, a Gladiator Beast, Dragasses, and then there's Darius, 2 copies. These are all pretty low rarity, so nothing to worry about in terms of like the pricing range. Gazeris, you can get the cheapest copy for like under $2. Heraclinos, I think is like $3 from the Special Ed Super. And then the editors, they are about $8 each, so be careful on that. There's a couple of cents on the Domitianus, and it's probably going to be another couple of cents here on the Claudius one on release. So this is a budget build. If you want to play Fiendsmith in here and then just give you additional bodies, yeah, you can do that, but it's not cool anymore, right? It's not a budget friendly deck anymore. That's all I have for this video, guys. I'm sure we can definitely push this deck even further if we decide to shove in all of the main staple engines and optimize the hand traps to a more modern take towards what it's going to be post-Suda. But that's all for another day. If you guys enjoyed this one, hit that thumbs up and hit subscribe, ding that notification bell. Really appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys have a lot of fun in Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2025. And I'll wish you all the best of luck in your polls, and I'll see you all in the next one.